he's losing somebody, and that makes them. Thank you, Stallion. We're gonna watch, what is it? Third step, braiding and splicing.
Stallion custom horsehair supercut at $2. Third step, braiding and splicing.
Alright, we're gonna check that out. Thank you, Stallion. Okay, let's look at Stallion's third step, braiding, splicing.
Through the magnifying glass that I look through with the fluorescent light on so I can see this stuff. I'm just getting too old for this. Been 20 years since I did it, and boy, I could...
You sound like a real cowboy, Stallion, if that's you.
Tell you what now, just in the past month of doing this, my hands are sore. I never realized the muscles that I used in my hands until now, and I'm praying that it's just muscles that are sore and not that I am getting some kind of arthritis. I don't even want to confess that with my mouth, because that'll put me in a bad position here. Anyways, gonna show you a little bit of what I do during the day to get to my braid. A lot of hair needs to be tied up and twisted and color-coded and all kinds of stuff to get these numerous variations of color that I get in my belts. This is another experimental belt that I'm doing right now. I'm trying to get some kind of a pyramid in the center that will highlight some form of markings on a snake of some type. These seem to be very popular in my braiding. Now, I have never seen any braiding like this ever in my lifetime, and I've seen a lot of horsehair. In fact, the people that taught me how to do it, inside of a month, they were coming to me to get their belts. They couldn't believe that I was coming up with these full patterns, and full pattern being a pattern that goes from the entire width of the belt and the length.
So you must adjust each fucking stripe in a certain way. How the fuck do you do that?
So, you know, the design gets duplicated every seventh strand. So that's why you see the repetitiveness here, and that's just the way that you have to do it. So any kind of a design that I can get in the variations of using those 6 modes is fine. But before we make this too lengthy, let's let's see what's going on here. Let me get my camera turned back on so I can see exactly what I'm doing here. Okay, good enough then. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit more so you can
Shit, it almost looks like fucking strings of metal.
see what I'm doing. I'm just gonna braid a couple just to let you know what's going on. Now, this is what takes all the time to do, is getting this stuff to line up. You have to get that black to line up with that brown right there, which it looks like it is perfect. So that's going to be good. So I have to match these two to keep these arrows in their proper place. Okay, what we have here is a little shorty, a little brown mixed gray, let's call it that. So I'm going to come over here and pull one of my mixed grays out, and I'm going to insert it into the bottom portion here, and I'm going to get my little finger to hold it there long enough for me to transfer around split 3 and come back over to the bottom portion of the left side, and then we just do the same with the right. And constantly keeping pressure on here. This is what happens.
It's like how ladies do their hair, you know. I don't know how they do it, but you know.
This isometric pressure I'm using right here to hold my braid. Yeah, that's why my fingers hurt. I'm doing the same thing here to hold the braid so it doesn't slip on me. Now, what I'm going to be showing you here is actually how I splice in a new piece and get rid of the other piece, which is too short. Now, you have to splice in if you want to braid forever. You know, maybe get a 80-inch belt or something, which I could never do, and I don't think there's a person that big anyways, but I don't have a press that big to do it. So anyways, I get down to the point to where my replacement is right there in the center, and before I bring that over, I'm going to pop that into that place right there, and I'm going to bring that up and through, right in front of it, okay? And I'm going to come and do the other side. Now I'm going to come, and I'm going to come right behind the new piece, and that's this one right here, and I pull on it a little bit to see if it's going to tug right here to make sure I have the right piece. Now we also want to check periodically to make sure. Now I've got my braid going too tight, so I'm going to loosen it up a little bit here and get these black down with that brown. There we go. Looks good to me. And we'll go ahead and throw this one over here, and then we'll come back over here and bring this over. This is a little tricky part here. Now this is the one we're replacing, and the one that we're replacing it with should be right behind it, and you pull a little bit just to check. Boop. Yep, that's the one, and that's the one that's going to replace. Now that part right there is exit out of the production and never gets used again. It'll get clipped off later on. Now we're going to use the one I just moved over there to replace that one, and here we have a new one. So we do this again until the next shorty comes up. Like I said, periodically, make sure you're checking. Make sure you're keeping that up there to where it's matching. Otherwise your braid's going to get off and it's going to look funny.
You must have really good
This is why these belts
eye
are
measuring.
very popular, because these are full pattern belts. They're not just a little check mark here and there, blah, 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 blah. Nope, don't happen. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you was how to splice that in. Now we're going to go until I hit my next shorty, and then that'll let me know to replace that. It looks like it's coming up right here. Boom, there's the shorty. And that is a, let's see what color that is. That's a mixed. That's a mixed gray right there, because here's my black, my white, and my black. So these three are mixed. So we're going to replace that with that. So let me terminate this thing right now to where I'll be able to come back to it in a bit and go from there.
That's crazy, man. Like you're what do you say, crafter? You know what I mean? Like if you were in an Armageddon situation, you could probably craft a fucking rope with horsehair or some shit like that. You know, many of us other regular people, we wouldn't be able to do anything close to that. You know, maybe we could find something from the trees and, you know, do some shit like that. That's it's good to have those skills, you know. I think many people are losing real life skills, you know. And your generation was more, you know, working with their hands and doing shit. We just sit here in front of a fucking computer screen like nerds. Good stuff. Good stuff, Stallion. I think a lot of people are learning about horsehair and belts with horsehair thanks to you. At least I am. That's crazy. Good stuff, man.